Team Saucey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's the video that we talked about yesterday. The history of Home Free, Episode 1, featuring Adam, Chris, and Matt. Let's jump right into it, man. I want to hear what these guys have to say. I can't wait to hear these stories. I'm wondering how many episodes there's going to be. All that jazz. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel for me. Throw a like on the video. Yeah. Turn on the bell so you know when I upload. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, Saucy Dad. Play the video. I came here to listen to them, not you. Just kind of weird to think about. But anyways. In January of 2001, 3 friends from high school got together and watched... High school got together to form a new a cappella group that they hoped would one day change music for all time. Instead, they
well, hello, welcome. This is Matt.
Listen, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, and that was a great example. You guys told me he did something about his hair. It's nice to see the guy without a hat on. Good for you, man. Now, I've asked you before, and I'm going to ask you again. What's the number for the doctor? Okay? I got the flying V going on up here, and it's just getting worse and worse. I'm going to have like a natural mohawk by the time I'm 40. Can we hook up on that, you think?
This is Adam, and this is Chris, and 20 years ago, we were home free.
Life is easier with you. Easier with you. You can make the traffic stop by walking down the avenue. Yeah.
Is this a song from back then?
You were here before I knew.
This is the 20-year anniversary of the formation of Home Free, and so we thought it'd be a great time to go back and retrospectively talk about how the heck this whole thing started and got to where it is today.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be super fun.
I hope
We're
so.
going to have so much fun.
Yeah. If not, let's edit the dumb stuff.
Well,
Starting
we're trying
there.
to get to this 30-second episode. So what should we talk about first?
Well, let's way back in high school. You guys are best friends.
Right.
We went way back.
Like, okay, we're going way back. So actually, Adam and I met in 4th grade. And,
Wow.
And then eventually, he let me come to his house where I met you.
Yeah.
But I think the first time we really started doing anything together were like basketball games, just the 3 of us.
Really? That must not have gone well for you.
Yeah, right.
I'm not playing basketball. The first time we sang together.
Oh, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, so, we grew up in a musical family, and so we always had music around us, and that joined right in with all that. And into high school, and then we're in choir together, doing theater together. And I put my first kind of group together that senior year in high school.
Yeah.
We put a little chamber group or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were always the one that pushed us to do stuff or like to try this or try that. Otherwise, we would have done nothing. We would have just sat
Did a lot of
there
video
and
games.
played.
Rap for the rapper.
Yeah.
Rap of the Rapper, that's right. Yeah, I think you roped us into singing at some Mankato East High School basketball games, like National Anthem.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh man.
And that was terrifying.
Yeah.
But really, it wasn't until you had graduated and it was our senior year that you were like, I have an idea. You guys know about rockapella, right?
Yeah, so that was my first year, my freshman year in college. Napster had just become a thing. So
Oh,
suddenly
wow.
our network had all of these songs on it. And I rediscovered rockapella because I remember them back in Carmen, San Diego days.
Right.
And I thought, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to do this too. How do we do this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I roped you guys in. And we had some other things through church stuff. Remember Be Glad was our first things we put together with the piano on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to try to do Pretty Woman. And there was my mom put on a talent show at the church quite often, every year or something. We said, let's do that for that. And
This is December of 2000.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that up until that point, it was it was a cappella, but it was fairly traditional.
We just
four
sing
part
without
harmony,
yeah,
right?
Just sing.
And so when we decided to borrow Rockapella's version of Pretty Woman, it was kind of drawing straws on who was gonna beatbox, right?
Well, originally I was going to do it, and then I remember kind of rehearsing the song with Adam, and I don't know if it's just us two or you guys or something. And I said, "This seems unusual since I'm a more experienced singer. I should probably be singing. Do you want to try beatboxing instead?"
That's what he asked me.
Right.
And in fear of him trying to do the beatbox, I immediately said, yes, I will take it upon myself to learn how to do this. And
I mean, it played fairly naturally between your trumpet performance and beatboxing, right? I mean, you had very really great lip work.
sort of. I mean, I was pretty young at that time.
Oh,
So I was.
We were all pretty young.
The thing is, I think everyone that just starts off beatboxing, no matter how good or quickly you learn, everybody starts off terrible until you figure it out.
Boots and cats.
So
yeah.
in that first performance, I just tried to make the most basic sounds, just to try to put a beat behind it. Do we have a video of that?
I'm going to look for it. I don't think we do anymore, but we have at least a picture, I think, somewhere.
That's too bad.
So this will be an edit where if we have the video, it'll go to that. Otherwise, it'll just be a still shot of the event. But in that performance, I mean, we hammed it up as much as we possibly could.
Oh yeah.
We did a whole back to the audience,
Yep.
and then on everyone's part, every entrance that each of us had. I think was it all at the same time, or was it individual?
I don't remember, but if there was some kind of jump turn
Right,
around
everybody did
There was a
jump turn, jump spin.
with our wired
Songs.
microphones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
singing to the pastor's wife.
No, it was us three and Darren Scruggs that made that first 4-person.
Wow.
And Dan Lemke.
Dan Lemke.
Yep.
Dan Lemke.
Yeah, the first 5. We have, I know pictures of that too, with the 5 of us. We learned. Then after that went through, we had the tuxedo shirts too.
Right.
Yeah, we handed up as much as we could
Right.
to make it work, and the audience loved it.
And the little fedoras, the plastic fedoras. The audience loved it, and we knew immediately after this we could go pro because we had probably 2 people come up to ask us to do birthday parties. So the rest is history.
It's pretty much a big deal.
5 people would be like, "Oh, you guys should do this, man. You're really good." Like, that's all the convincing we needed.
Yeah. I mean, we were 4 of those 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Who's the 5th one?
My
You
mom.
say-
Yeah.
And also, we should note that we sang the song as a serenade to the pastor's wife because
Right.
we needed that extra little gem, that extra little part to make the whole thing
Cohesive.
well, just to make it entertaining for the audience. We
Right.
thought, well, if we're terrible, at least we're involving this aspect, so it'll cover that.
Right.
That's true.
But that was the start, and then we learned a few more songs.
Yeah.
I think my mom, she had so many musical connections around the area. People were always asking her for entertainment. Got like a bank gig or something in one of the little, areas around here. You had the long hair. I remember that. You had the long hair. And we did like 5 songs then.
I mean, they were still rockapella
Covers, yeah.
But Keep On Smiling,
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me,
And those are the first 3 songs.
Maybe Dock of the Bay. That was one of those.
Brown Eyed Girl was one of the first
That was
ones.
kind of soulfire.
Yeah. So
So we did a few more things. And then that summer is when I got my job at Microsoft.
right.
So I left.
Oh,
So
wow.
you left.
To Dallas.
Yeah, to Dallas.
What Chris doesn't know is that was the first time Home Free really took off.
Coincidentally, that summer, really.
We really should pause here because did we have a name for our group at
No.
the talent show?
No, not at all.
So we didn't have a name. It was just like
Us guys.
the Hosanna Church guys, right? So it wasn't until after that magical performance that we're like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna need a name.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that spring at some point.
I don't remember
Well, I'm just.
the gems that we came up with, but they were
Well, I had a
Really?
list of like 100 names because I went on the internet and I was like, okay, just give me names, and they were all,
yeah.
just dumb little. How do I find the word here?
Yeah, right, like
Puns.
Puns,
cliches.
Yeah,
cliches.
because all acapella groups
Have to
did
be
that,
puns.
right? They, the acapellas, and
Right, right,
those
right.
type of things.
Foreshadow.
Right. So anyway, those types of things that
But when did
play
we?
fun.
When did we actually figure out the name? I feel like it was almost a year or two into it or something.
I don't know if we had a name by the time I came back even. Maybe we did. I don't
Because we
remember.
kept doing shows or trying to do these little gigs around town where we're just talking, man, we got to get a name sometime. We called something, and I don't remember when we actually figured out when the name actually came. I
It would have
guess
been early still, but I
That's
don't know.
Yeah.
we'd show up to little gigs and they'd walk up to Chris and be like, "So, what do we call you?" Chris. Chris and his other guys.
These other guys.
Chris and the guys.
Well, at some point,
Yeah.
we came up with the name.
We did.
And I remember you, I think, threw it out there as a throwaway.
As a joke.
And I mean, it's no worse than everything else we've been talking about.
Right.
But the kicker.
The funny part was I actually did the same thing to my wife when we were naming our firstborn. Like I just
wanted to call it home free?
jokingly threw out a name, not serious at all, and then she's like, "I love that." So anyway, we're all standing around in the church.
To be fair, we do have to do that to make it seem like we're participating. And he hit one. He happened to hit one, so now he will forever have named his child. That's awesome. Good, from one husband to another. You did it, man. You did it. That's all. That's what we wake up aspiring to do every day of our husband journey, is just hoping one of our useless face noises does something good. And in this case, he was able to name his child. He also named the band, doing the same thing, apparently. So this is really cool. Do you guys remember Napster? I haven't even... Wow, that is so funny. When did that get phased out? And what happened? Because Napster was everything. And then it was gone, apparently. Oh man, I had forgotten all about that, because he's right. That was like Spotify now, you take it for granted, right? Like every song everywhere is right here at the tip of your fingers. And anything you want to hear. It wasn't always like that. And I'm only 33, so it's crazy how much it's insane, actually, how much the accessibility to anything media has changed in just the last 20, 30 years. It's 20 years, really. It's crazy. I had totally forgotten about Napster. Wow.
Threw out a name, not serious at all, and then she's like, "I love that." So anyway, we're all standing around in the church, just saying words and trying to get this thing to come together. And then I go, "How about home free?" You're like, okay, that could actually work. That's probably the best thing we've got so far. So we'll probably change it down the road.
We'll start with that.
But we'll start with that. And how'd you come up with that name? It's like, well, it's the name of my grandpa's boat, which never got old. It was always a fun story to tell.
People still ask this.
Do they?
All the time. They want to know where the name comes from.
Yeah.
So we always have to tell this story, but you can keep going.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know it's still relevant.
Well, that's good. That's good. I would assume the crazy fans now all know it, but maybe not.
The hardcore ones.
Check out the Wikipedia. So my grandpa had a huge sailboat that he named Home Free, and then he sold that and bought a power yacht that he named Home Free 2. And I was like, let's just name it that. That sounds fun. And coincidentally, he was so proud of that he decided to give us our very first loan.
Yeah.
We showed him our financial statements. We've made nothing. We have nothing on the books.
Yep.
We may not ever do anything, but we need
$13,000.
Was it $13,000? Yeah.
So this was about 03, 04. So I've gotten back from Dallas now. I was there for a year working with Microsoft. And then we started kind of doing it again. I think at that point, Dan had left.
Yeah.
And then we brought in Joe Kent.
Yeah.
Joe Kent was singing bass for us.
Yep.
And then we decided to try to get this equipment to actually have some microphones and speakers and do a thing. And Grandpa stepped up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good loan, good terms.
We paid it back. We did.
Pay it back when you can eventually.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yes.
We blew the subwoofer off the first time we used
Oh,
it.
that's right.
I forgot about that, but yeah,
We
we
did.
were just being
Testing
dumb,
it out.
testing it out.
And
Knowing what we're doing.
and the sound guy, the guy at the music store was, how does an a cappella group blow out a subwoofer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's when, isn't that when you had like the throat mic thing too that you were trying out?
Yeah.
So it's now 2003,
Oh, wow.
and we decided we needed some kind of material to show people what the heck we were doing. We needed a CD, and we couldn't afford actual studio time. We thought we have some concerts coming up. Let's record at one of them, and it was at Gustavus, the school that Adam and I went to, and we did our very first live CD with the first logo
The very first logo.
made by your
Yeah.
friend Chris Kind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I forgot that.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
He just because you told him about the group, and he just drew that one day. Like, how about something like that? Like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
I
was,
This
I
does
was-
not exist in the wild anywhere.
I was noticing. Well, that's good because
It's
it's
for the best.
not great. Was that the one we recorded at Gustavus?
Yeah, recorded live at
Yeah.
Gustavus College on January 10th, 2004.
That was fun.
2004.
So this one, I just got.
So that's the Joe's back now.
That's the Joe's. Oh, that's right.
So then Darren left around that soon after that was kind of when he was done. And there was a guy at Mankato State who we were working with for other music stuff named Joe Fine. And we brought him to sing bass with us. And that was the group. That was the five-sum for quite a while.
Yeah, okay, so he was the one with them on the worst night ever, right? I think. He had longer hair,
for
though.
A few years. Our third annual home concert.
At the church.
Wow.
Now, that's funny. So we did one of those every year at Hosanna Church. It was like kind of our biggest show of the year because we'd have more people than normal that came
Yeah.
to see us ever. And it actually grew. The couple years before the sing off, it was pretty successful. The Christmas
Yeah.
show we do there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a good show.
Yeah.
And then the year that we were on the sing off, this was the last show of the tour. And the capacity was like 1,300 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we sold out that first show, as soon as we aired on
First
TV.
airing, yeah.
And then we put on a second show. And that's sold
But
out
before
first
that,
show.
so
Matt was still involved.
let's get back to the good stuff.
Back to me.
Well, hold on. If you're gonna go back in time, you actually forgot something.
Oh, what did I forget?
We were on an audio recording before this.
The Hosanna CD.
Yes.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. So our church band at Hosanna put together a CD in 2001, right before I went to Texas, and Home Free did 2 songs on it.
Yeah.
We did "Change of My Life"
Yep.
and the Smiling Song.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the earliest audio recording, and I know this because
I gotta have that
the
song.
Home Free people were coming to me and asking like, hey, "When's the first recording? Because we need to know." And I was like, just digging through all the stuff. I was like, "Oh yeah, this was the very first thing we ever recorded."
I hope I can find that and put that on this little clip of "Change of My Life." That'd be
Wow.
great.
That's awesome. So we had this group then, Joe Fine, Joe Kent, and then the 3 of us. And when was this done then?
Next level, 2005, 2006.
Glad that we have the dates in the back.
Well, I don't see a date on here.
Oh darn
There
it!
must be a date.
So we decided that
It was like right
you
after.
can listen to the first CD. Actually, you
2005.
can't. But if you were to, there's so many jokes, and it's so funny because we're funny.
It was so funny.
It was so funny to us, and so we said, for the next CD project, we really need to do a dual release of a CD and a DVD, so they can see just how quite talented we are.
I mean, our outfits are really the best part of
They're
that
the
whole
best.
thing.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
We went to Express. Remember
Express for Men.
Or no, back then it was called
Structure.
Yeah.
have to
So
color
we
solid
went to
shirts.
Structure, and Like, we're going to get all the exact same shirt, but in different colors, because then
And that blew our budget right there.
that was it. Now, how do we make a CD? So that was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, so that was the live concert at Bethany College in Minnesota.
We did audio comments.
Yeah, we did a behind the scenes commentary. That's right.
I got to go back and watch that now.
Now the three of us just talking
Was it just
about
us
the whole
three?
show. Yeah, just us three.
I gotta listen to this audio commentary. That's gotta be incredible.
Yeah.
And the show promotional taping, we did a little promo thing on their campus TV show.
What's
yeah.
the deleted scene?
That was the one of the tracks. The audio guy, his computer died during the recording,
Okay.
so we didn't get the Santa song, Santa Mambo Santa, whatever.
Okay.
So we still put it on there with just the camera audio, just so we'd have a deleted scene.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I gotta look at that content.
So again, yeah, you cannot find this anywhere. When people ask about the first real projects, it's always the other ones we'll show you later.
I could share with you, though, that my kids are obsessed with Home Free. They watch every YouTube video. They watch, it's just anything that comes out. They are obsessed.
Ditto.
And so
They were in one of my videos.
you're obsessed too?
No,
Oh.
my kids are
Yeah.
obsessed. Yeah.
And so
I mean,
they're watching.
this guy's kid's dad used to be in it, and the Repster's kid's dad is in it. And we all know kids and their dads, right? I mean, hey, I could be on 60 Days In, and my kids would be obsessed with jail by the time I got out. So, kids love their pops, and pops love their kids. I mean, I know my dad is a pipe fitter and hangs pipe for a living, so I thought hanging pipe was the coolest thing that's ever happened to planet Earth before I got a job with him. And then it instantly, it wasn't that cool. Have you ever dug steel pipe out of a snowbank? Well, you don't have fingers for the rest of the day, I'll tell you that much. But no, that's really funny to hear, and I'm sure I can see my kids doing the same thing. If I was singing in a group, they would be, because just with my YouTube videos, they won't always watch all of them, but they attempt to watch every video I put out, if I say it's okay. So, yeah. Kids love their dads, dads love their kids. And obviously, moms, we all know you're the MVPs. Let us have our moment, okay? We get moments too. This is one of them. Chill out.
And so they're watching, Home Free, and their minds were blown when they met you two. Like, how do you know them? I was famous too. Anyway, so I was like, you know what? I was in this. They're like, no, you weren't. So I played them this DVD, and they're like, we're bored. Can we watch Home Free now?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh, we were
Anyway.
young. Yeah.
It sounds
So
about
young.
right. Yep.
So I think that's about the time we were about to step up to our next big investment. The next loan from Grandpa.
The behind the van.
Oh, was that the van?
Van trailer, yeah.
Because we knew we had to get both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the CD project.
Because
And pay for seat
because
rental.
Betty.
the
I mean,
we're currently
If that doesn't look like a Betty, then you're just not from the country. I don't care, north or south. The country is the country, goddammit.
using
And that's Betty.
The old blue van.
the old blue van.
The flamethrower.
It was a vehicle that my parents picked up in Arizona.
Well,
The trailer's name was White? That's racist.
Trailer, yeah.
Because we knew we had to get both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Why?
CD
Because it's not fast enough to keep up?
Because
All
the
that
vehicle,
probably,
the vehicle we were currently using,
The old blue van.
the old blue van,
The flamethrower.
it was a vehicle that my parents picked up in Arizona,
Long time ago.
somewhere in the early '80s or something like
Yeah.
that. It was a 12-passenger van,
Oh my god.
and I mean it just took beating year after year after year because it was used for all kinds of travel for my mom with her gigs and
Yeah.
trips that they did, and I actually drove it down to
Dallas.
Yeah, when we were moving back. And it had a lot of character in this vehicle. To list some of the highlights, it constantly backfired, but not just out the side of the exhaust, underneath carriage as
Oh.
well. So it was like sparks and flames coming out from both.
The
spots.
worst time.
So I guarantee you, Adam got some inspiration for some beats just from when he decided to back off the throttle. You get a little pow or a pow 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 pow. You know, that had to inspire him somewhere. He probably doesn't even know it. But Adam, if you're watching this, you got to thank Betty or the flamethrower, whatever you called the blue one. But either way, there's nothing quite like a van that, you know, you feel weird driving by kids driving, right? Something about those vans. We had one for a long time when we raced. White conversion van, where you felt like you had to explain yourself anytime you were near children. Like I don't want them to come in the van. That's not why I bought this vehicle. It's for transportation only.
So bad. We got 3 miles of the gallon because there were flames coming out of the engine off the side of the road. We're gonna die.
Hell yeah!
The ceiling was falling down.
Always,
so they had to prop it
always.
up with an umbrella.
Yes.
And
Yes.
one of the seats, and then the ceiling to hold it up.
Oh, I
In
love
the-
it.
In the back,
love it.
It had rusted through so much in the back right of the vehicle that
Yep.
you could actually reach through the floor
Oh yeah.
to the ground, and the only thing separating you from that was the carpet.
Right.
Carpet? Carpet, that's not exciting at all. See, when that happened in ours, I had a Subaru that the passenger side was just like that. But a carpet would have made it boring. See, it was exciting that you knew if you drop something, it's gone forever because it's going to hit the pavement at however fast you're traveling and shatter, and you just kind of look in the rear view and see it pirouetting off into the woods. That's way more exciting. Get rid of the rug. We don't need the rug. Nah, boring. Rugs are boring. You know, you want to feel a real risk of life every time you go somewhere.
You could actually reach through the floor to the ground, and the only thing separating you from that was the carpet.
Right.
The
The carpet might have been holding the whole thing together.
Yeah,
But-
honestly, it might have.
It was free.
It was free. Yes.
Well, and then
That's
and then
hey.
where we finally made the decision that, you know what, it was at some county fair that we were performing at, and we just kept talking about we really got to get a newer vehicle because this is just dangerous, and we're like, this is such a POS.
Right.
Someone then gets into the passenger side in the front, and as soon as we said that, he shut the door, and the rear view mirror just falls down.
I remember that.
We were
That was
dying.
amazing.
Oh, we were dying.
Another thing I loved about that van was no heat. That was
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
for all the winter gigs in Minnesota. What?
The time when Joe.
That's the worst.
At that hotel, it was the
We went in the
Radisson
wrong-
or something. We're in this old 1980s, maybe 70s vehicle that has it's white with this giant blue stripe, right? Or was it
Something
blue
like
with
that.
a white stripe?
think
I don't
part of
know.
it was right.
And it's just like the oldest van falling apart, whatever. And we get done with this gig up at the Radisson in Minneapolis, and we all climb in. We got it all loaded back up, and we're sitting there shivering. And we're like, "Where's Joe? Where's Joe?" Finally, we see him coming out of the hotel. He must have been grabbing more snacks at the hors d'oeuvre center or something, but he finally comes running out of the hotel and then gets in the brand spanking new all white Radisson van, and he's just sitting there. And we're like, what is he doing? And then after a couple minutes, yeah, he's looking around and kind of looks out the window and says, and then light comes in. He's like, I thought that was our van. I'm like, it's brand new. Anyway, and it says Radisson on the side. Anyway, that was funny. I think the best story about that van, though, was the night.
Yes.
No, that's not.
That was that vehicle.
That was that van.
Yes. Yeah. So before we go to so it was the trailer. It was the trailer was the next investment.
Right.
Yeah, that was
The trailer
next-
was,
yeah. Yeah.
Trailer full of gear.
Yeah. Yeah. So at this time, this is somewhere like 2006-ish,
Yeah.
something like that. I was contacting all of the high schools in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Because a great way to perform and try to,
Build something.
build something is to call up high school choirs and say, hey, we want to come in and we'll workshop with the kids, and then we'll put on a show that night, and hopefully, parents will have the kids perform too, and hopefully parents will come and we can, try to make a buck or two as we develop our craft.
That's awesome.
And sometimes it worked. Most of the time it was, we tried to survive this thing. But one gig in particular went completely awry.
Forest
And
Lake.
Who wants to tell that? No,
Oh,
North
North
Branch.
Branch. North Branch. You're right. Yeah,
North
North
Branch.
Branch. And we've got a whole Matt put together a fantastic video, which I'm going to link to because it's too long for this.
It's
but,
too long for this.
But
Yeah.
I'll link to it if you've never seen it. It's unlisted on Home Free's channel, but it's still there.
Is it?
I think, or maybe it's on Facebook. I think it's on
It might be
Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll get it. We'll try and link to it. But we don't want to talk about the whole story. But everything that could go wrong went wrong that night.
That's right.
I guess getting there was fine, and the show was fine.
The show was
It was,
good.
it was trying to leave that night. That everything was
Okay,
fine.
we had just met Johnny F, who was going to do lights for us. It was the first time I think we used Johnny F. He provided some lights for the show. So everything was kind of okay. This is the first time we were in North Branch, I believe.
It was the second time we were there.
It was
Second time.
It was?
We
Okay,
came
it was
back
the
the
second
second
time. And at this point, also, we had switched to, we had new bass, we had Chris Foss. with
Chris
us,
Foss was singing this.
Which, is he still in or
He's in Cantus.
Constance?
Constance,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
in Constance. Phenomenal musician, singer.
amazing.
Great bass singer. He was awesome.
And a cool guy.
And a cool
Yeah,
guy.
he was cool.
Yeah. So, you should tell a story.
Okay.
You got it best.
Back to the
Story.
story of North Branch. So we got done with the show. It was a great show. Like, we really had a great show.
Yeah, it was a good show. You were great.
I was really great. And we were loading everything up in the winter. It's
It was below zero.
So cold. Below zero.
January.
And the van.
No, this was April.
No.
Yeah, because Johnny made a 420 joke. April 20th. It was a cold day in April.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, that was the time. It was the time, Christopher.
It was 4:20 in the morning. Never mind. I'm gonna continue. It was January.
Back at and take two.
So North Branch, we had a great performance.
You were great.
I was great. And it was so cold out. It was
Below zero.
well below zero.
So
And
winter in January.
this glorious van that we had was frozen solid. I mean, I think the gasoline froze with it.
The entire 80 block was just a solid chunk.
It was just frozen. Yeah. So,
So we're trying to pack up and leave, and
yeah.
we can't.
we're trying to get it going,
And this is like 11 at night, 10, 11 at night.
yeah,
something
probably
there.
around 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock at night.
We get done with the show and we're signing things and we're talking to people. So, I mean, it was already like, stuff was closed.
Yeah.
So we finally, somebody there helps us find somebody.
We had a shop.
Yes,
A
it
heated
was
indoor
23 and a half hour towing. Remember
Yes. Yes.
that? Yeah. Wow, I can't believe I remember that. 23 and a half hour towing was the name of this company. Luckily, we caught them in the 23 and a half.
Yeah.
So they came and got the
Yeah, we had to tow it to the shop.
tow it to
I
the
went
shop.
with them to the shop. You guys stayed at the school.
Right, and we played basketball. Well, he played basketball. I did
Well, like
something
Chris
with
Foss,
basketball.
Chris Foss played basketball. Joe
Right.
Campus or two, I think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I don't know why. They just had the balls out, and luckily the janitor didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're just hanging out.
Yep.
They were cleaning the school.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
So we put the van in the garage so it warms up, and then it will start.
Well, no, you had to take a blowtorch to the
Yeah.
engine.
He might have done something. Yeah, but it was an hour or so plus to get that thing
Yeah.
starting up. But it's going. Thank goodness. We drive back to the school. It's midnight.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was now midnight.
Pack it all up. and we're
Finally hit the road, and I think all of us were still living in Mankato, right?
Chris Foss we dropped off in
Okay.
Minneapolis, but the four of us were
But
still
the four of us had to get back to Mankato. So we're heading back, and I still shudder at the exact intersection
Near
of
Shock
where it happened, but I'm driving, and all of a sudden it's just like something is happening, and I look and there's sparks flying out of the trailer because we had not just like oh, we got a flat tire. We had exploded the tire.
So the tire exploded.
It just exploded, and we could see what had happened was the tire, when it exploded, a big flap of the rubber had come off and then grabbed the fender of the trailer and ripped the whole fender back, which then turned it into a razor blade.
Does it sound familiar? It's exactly what I told you happened when I saw the aftermath. Seen that before. Managed a tire place for a long time. Trailer tires do some very funny things. They're not built like car tires are. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. And that, I still don't believe that it exploded, because that's one thing they don't do, typically. I'm not sure why it would explode. Especially in that kind of cold. I don't know. Hey, anything's possible on a night like that. When everything's going wrong, who knows?
It continued shredding the rest of the tire. It was awful.
Impressive.
So I pull off the highway onto an exit ramp and just stop. We're stopped on the exit, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my gosh. So we call,
It's now 1 a.m.
right, we call AAA or something. We call somebody to come figure this out, a tow truck. And then a squad car pulls up behind us.
Checking on us.
Just checking on us.
Must be nice.
So he waits with us.
Must be.
while-
Hey, Maine police. If any of you are watching, if you see somebody broken down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, with a flat tire, clearly not changing a spare because they don't have one, why don't you, I don't know, just slow down? Maybe just tap your brakes. You don't even have to stop. Just yell on your way. Hey, are you okay? Anything will do. We had, I think, 2 stadies and a game warden just... Hello? Can you... Really? At least these guys had somebody pull up behind them and ask. Good lord. I ended up having to go ask the Goonies if they had a phone I could use. Yeah.
The tow truck comes to get the trailer.
And we're also thinking right now, this is already a really crap situation.
This is the
because
worst night of our lives.
We've got to get this thing somewhere, and then tomorrow come and figure out what to do with this.
Yeah, and we had actually already lost money on the gig.
We'd lost money on that gig.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Darn. So
It's self-injury.
Yeah.
So it was already the worst night ever. We get the trailer unhitched, and
Loaded
the
up on the
tow guy, but not yet. He goes, "Go ahead and pull the van forward." I'm like, okay. Put it in drive. Nothing. Like it was still running, but it was like stuck. He's like, "Do you have your parking brake on?" I was like,
It didn't snap the axle. The drive shaft broke. Okay, so the drive shaft probably broke at the axle. So when he was just hitting the gas, the drive shaft was just spinning, but it wasn't connected to the axle anymore. So it wasn't turning the wheels of the van. That makes sense because of what I knew it was related somehow. That doesn't just happen at the same time. I mean, nights like this are crazy, but things are usually explainable. So that's what happened. The trailer put that much pressure on the drive shaft, which then gave away.
"No, what's going on?" Well, apparently the brakes had broken and fused themselves to the I don't know what you call it, the brake thing.
brake pads and rotors or something.
The rotor, yeah. I'm a stinger. I don't know what. It had fused itself, so now there was no way to move the van anyway.
Yeah.
So then they get this big flatbed and load the whole van and the trailer on top of this flatbed and take off.
No, the trailer the trailer on the flatbed and the van that was towed behind it.
Oh, was it? Because
Yeah.
the front tires could still turn.
Right.
So, but then the sheriff or state trooper or something's like, "Well, jump in, I'll take you. You know where you need to go." We're like, "Mankato?"
Where do we need to go right now?
So we
went to the
we just asked him to take us to a Perkins.
No, he took us to the lot first.
Oh, the lot,
Yeah.
yes.
And the dogs are there barking at us.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is out of a horror movie.
It's like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep. And like, what are we gonna do? So we call my parents
Right.
in Mankato and say, please come get us.
Come up and get us, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in Perkins at 4:20 in the morning,
Yeah.
waiting for my mom and dad to come and get us. And I remember sitting there at the table with the 4 of us and 5 with Johnny. And I was saying, what are we doing? We're losing money,
Yeah.
putting all this time and effort
Yeah.
into something that's just not going anywhere. What are we doing?
Worst day.
It's really not going anywhere.
Yeah, so many levels.
I don't know that any of us wanted to do it again.
That was the lowest point for me. Like, I was like, should we really keep doing this or just quit?
Yeah.
This is never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Elizabeth. Wait. Oh, never mind. Not the same Elizabeth. Spoiler: we didn't quit. That was very funny. I have a quick little story time since we're doing stories. I mean, we already saw that one last night, but anyways, when Saucey Mom and I were pregnant with my son, who was our middle child, my oldest and him are Irish twins. So they were born he was born exactly 7 days before her first birthday. So they're exactly 7 days. He was born on Sunday, her birthday was the following Sunday. So they're exactly a week shy of being a year apart. Anyways, we live about about an hour and a half from the hospital, excuse me. She's pretty close. She's pretty close to getting there, and it's like late January. So it's winter in very northern. We were way up north at the time in Maine, where we lived, and it was the worst blizzard. I don't think we've had one that bad since then, to be honest. And it was 11 years ago now or so. And it's just crazy snowing. You literally couldn't see in front of you. There's that literally again. But I'm being serious. It's applied correctly, Tim. Don't come for me. You literally couldn't see 10 feet in front of the car. No joke. She's like, I can't lay down. I can't sit anymore. Like, it's time. He's here. He's coming. I'm looking outside going, knowing the journey and how far we are. Like, do you realize if we leave this house, I will do everything in my power to get us there as fastly, as quickly, and as safely as possible. But I don't know what that means. I'm just telling, like, you see what it's like out there. At this point, we had already had 10, 12 inches on the ground, and we were expecting another 10, 12 inches throughout the night. It was a at least 2 foot nor'easter. So she's like, we have to go. He's here. Like, I am ready. And she knew, it's her second. I still don't know. I mean, I suppose everything happens for a reason, so we probably were supposed to do what we did. But guys, good Lord. It's an hour and a half on regular commute. Okay, there's 10 inches of snow on the ground, and it is a white-out blizzard. We live in the middle of nowhere, so our roads are not taken care of whatsoever. And what we were taking is not the Subaru I was just talking about, but a different Subaru. Everybody's got Subarus up here. They're all-wheel drive. They go anywhere. Anyways, we get in the car, and we start driving. And it really wasn't too bad. I mean, it's like driving in a crazy snowstorm. If you are from someplace like this, you're pretty used to it. Not until we got to the main road, anyway. Because the main road, it was snowing so fast they couldn't keep up with it. So they just would come out every so often instead of staying out. The road had accumulated at least 6 inches of snow on it. We're in a car, a sedan, not an SUV. So we're driving down the road, and I'm like, I just keep checking on. I'm worried about her. I've been driving in this stuff all my life. I got it. I'm worried about her. So I keep checking on her. She's like, are we good? Because she laid the seat back, We have my 11-month-old, soon-to-be 1-year-old in the back seat. So I got her all bundled up, wrapped up with blankets and stuff. It's freezing outside. Driving down the main road to head towards the highway to go to the hospital. It was a whiteout blizzard to the point where, like, your windshield wipers almost didn't matter. But at the same time, once the car warmed up, if you know anything about driving in snow, once the car warmed up, the snow starts to turn into, like, slush as it hits the windshield because the car is warm. So you have to use the wipers or you'll be blind. So driving down. We're probably a half hour out now. So me knowing the commute, I'm like, this is going to take us 2.5 hours at least to get there. Spoiler, took us about 3.5. And we really didn't stop for very long. But we did have to stop. Because while driving down the main road, I'm talking to her. You okay? Can I do anything? How you feeling? Blah, 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 blah. Driver's side windshield wiper flies off the car. Now, typically, I would stop and I would go get it and I would figure out a way to make it work until I could go grab a new one. Because usually, especially when it's that cold, if you have like ice on your windshield, when you start them or something, it'll just break the little clip. So you just need to replace it. I knew that, but it's now so late at night, nothing is open. Not that I could get to the place, even if it was. But I'm just like inside going, oh no. And I have a in labor woman right next to me, an 11-month-old baby behind me. It is deadly cold outside. So I'm like, she's like, what happened? I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just going to pull over for a second. I know you're not going to go find the wiper. It's lost in the winter wonderland behind you. It would take you 7 years to find the thing. So instead, I go over to her side. I steal her wiper, which is the wrong one. They are made a driver's side and a passenger side for a reason. I grab hers and I figure out a way to get it on. Again, in a whiteout blizzard, blistering cold, like I can barely use my fingers. I get the thing on there and I prop the arm on her side up so it's not just scratching on the windshield because it has no wiper on it now. So we start driving and I'm watching it really closely because I'm like, if we lose this one, we're gonna have a baby in a freezing cold car on the side of the road. Period. Like, I don't have any family anywhere near here it's not in this weather. They're never gonna make it here in time. So we either make this work or we're having a baby on the side of the road. So I was just so focused on that wiper because I knew if I lost that, I'm blind. Even if you stick your head out the window and tough it out, you're not going to be able to see. You're going to have snowballs for eyes in a matter of a couple miles. So I'm watching it, and we didn't get very far. I don't even know. We didn't get very far, but I notice it's coming off. Like, it's not, I have it jerry-rigged on there. It is not supposed to be on that arm. It's supposed to be on the other side, the other way, so I just made it work. It's what you do. I noticed that it's coming off. So instead of losing another one in the winter wonderland behind me, I'm like, you know what? Screw this. We have a bunch of blankets. I always keep a bunch of extra stuff in the car just because you never know. Maine, Minnesota, any place like that. If you get stranded on the side of the road and you don't have a way to call somebody, you could absolutely lose your life. So I always keep blankets, extra gear, boots, dry stuff. I always keep like a little emergency camping kit basically in the car. Thank God I had that because I took the 2 big blankets, put one on Saucey Mom, I put one on the baby, wrapped it right around her car seat. She was out like a light, nice and warm, all the baby gear they have these days. She was nice and toasty. Saucey Mom was nice and toasty. So I put a little tie strap around my jacket sleeve so that it wouldn't come down. And then I grabbed the wiper off the car, propped my arm up so it wouldn't scratch the windshield. And I manually wiped my vision with my arm out the window in below zero the entire way to the hospital. And I got us there, and Saucey Mom doesn't remember much of it because she was focused on the human being trying to come out of her body. So the transportation was on me. And, you know, I just was still like, you good? Are you okay? No, this is fine. I'm good. We're totally fine. She's like, why are you doing that? It's, you know, it works better. The automatic wipers is, you know, way overrated. So I got it. Let me do my thing, working on my biceps while driving us to the we're good. So yeah, that was a pretty stressful evening, but we got there, and ended up being a pretty crazy week. That ended up being, or 6 months actually. That ended up being the last time we ever left that house, because the next time we went there was to get our stuff and moved closer to the hospital, because my son was born with some esophagus issues, and we have some pretty crazy stories about that too, but we've been on this video for a long time, so I'll save that for another night. I woke up in the morning to them cramming a tube, incubating him, cramming a tube down his esophagus. It still makes me very emotional to this day. He's 11 years old, but it affected his life for 6 years. And little did we know when we left the house that night, and I was wiping the windshield all the way there, that we would be in the hospital for the next 6 months. And only getting to see our 11-month-old on rotations. And it was a really stressful, emotional time, just because, you know, we're from way up north, and we're living way out of our element in the middle of the city. Well, the city in Maine. And he wasn't premature. There was nothing else, you know, there was nothing. It just happens. So yeah, it was a really rough time. But I woke up at 7 a.m. to this woman saying, oh, he just wouldn't let us put the tube, he just wouldn't let us get it in there. So whatever. It's still an ongoing thing as far as a lawsuit's concerned. Never gotten anywhere with it. You know, we can't afford the same lawyers that the hospital can. But yeah, he's all better now. He's great now. You would never know it anymore. But it was a really rough time. Now that the series, it's funny how things stack up like that. Like just that night that these guys had on that video that we watched last night. It's just funny how sometimes you're tested to the full extent, right? Like my story of our trip back from camp. Sometimes that just happens. You just have a day from hell, and if you come out of it on the other side, you're going to come out of it smarter, stronger, and no question with more patience. You don't really have a whole lot of choice, because if you're still alive, you learned more patience. Or if you're still alive and not in jail, you learn more patience somewhere along the way. So yeah, that's my little crappy vehicle in the weather story when we almost had to have a baby in a freezing snowstorm on the side of the road. Thank God we didn't. Anyways, guys, that was really super cool. I can't wait to see episode 2. I am definitely fully indulged in this, and I can't wait to hear. You could just see the look on their face, like, yeah, that was a really low point. Like, you could tell mentally and emotionally going back to that place is like, wow, they really thought doing this wasn't meant for them. And now look at what it turned into. So I cannot wait to hear what happened to make them stick with it, and, you know, what little bits of hope came along the way. And I mean, I'm assuming the sing-off was the big break, right? Finally getting accepted, because they had auditioned before, I believe Tim said in his interview with the charismatic voice. So I can't wait to hear the rest of the story. I truly am so excited to hear it. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Voice play day tomorrow. It was supposed to be today, but we did this instead. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe out there in that crazy world, man. This is Saucy Dad. Until next time. 1 second, actually. I do want to thank you guys for the... I do want to thank you guys that have donated towards us helping the family that we're helping for Christmas this year, because it really means a lot to me. So I'm hoping they're gone now, because I recently learned that they watch our videos, they watch my videos, so I didn't know that. Now granted, they still don't know who I'm talking about, so there is that, but those of you that are in the Discord server, the Saucy Dad Discord server, I told you guys a little bit about it today, and I thanked you just because it really means a lot to me that, you know, it takes a really special person to do something like that during the holiday season. The holidays are hard enough for everybody, so it takes a really special person to do that this time of year, particularly. So those of you that have done, that have sent something, whether it was $5, no matter what it was, I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. It is super cool of you. It's really touching to know that I have that many amazing people that are part of my foundation, because no matter where this channel goes, this group of people will always be my foundation, right? You guys are the Team Saucy OGs, and nobody could ever take that away from you. You will forever be my original subscribers, right? And I am an original subscriber on some of my still favorite channels, like you guys might watch some of them, I don't know, but the TMG fam with L, he's awesome. And I mean, even No Life Shaq, he's gone a little Hollywood, you know, but no, he's absolutely awesome. I love Shaq. I subbed to him when he had like 2,500 subscribers, literally. And Art of Kicks, AOK. I love him. He's a wicked, genuine, great person. So it's just a really cool experience and a cool thing to be able to say, I was there from the beginning. So to know that I have that many people that are that great, genuine people, part of my original group, is just really super awesome to me. And it makes me even more excited to see where we go with this thing, because it's growing way faster than I ever thought it would. I mean, we're almost at 10K. I just thanked you guys for hitting 7K. So, you know, I told Saucy Mom when we started, I'm like, you know, by New Year's Day, I would love to be at 10K. That'd be so crazy. Like, we're going to hit it tomorrow or the next day. I don't even know. So, you guys are unbelievable. You guys are awesome. Really super cool. And I don't, you know, almost everything that we watch on here isn't able to be monetized. So, it's not like I make money from doing this stuff. So, just gaining the group of people that I've gained is a whole different kind of payment in my eyes, right? If you know anything about YouTube, copywritten content, even if they, like when we watch, like just this episode we watched tonight, when they play little background music and stuff for like scene switching or just showing pictures, when they play that background music, boom, right there. It's a copyright strike, which doesn't count against me as far as like getting banned or anything like it would on TikTok, but you can't monetize it. So hardly anything we do on here is able to be monetized, but that's not what this is about for me, you know? It's about the family that I've built already, all these amazing people that I get to interact with on a daily basis. And now I've had this whole army of people that is willing to help me help people. So to me, that is so much cooler than whatever money you would make from doing, which isn't, you know, let's be honest, it wouldn't be much even if there was anything. So it's still really cool nonetheless. And I always believed that, you know, I know I'm ranting here, but this is important to me. I always believed that artists such as Home Free should be reaping the benefits. I always wondered that, like, how do these YouTubers make money? watching other people's hard work and dedication. All they're doing is watching the video. So I understand it a lot more now. They are still getting the money. But the YouTuber, so to speak, me in this case, is just building a channel, building a community, which to me is so much cooler. I'm not even going to open this can of worms, but I hate money. I absolutely despise what money has done to humanity and the human life experience. So I don't even care about that, to be totally honest with you. I just think that everything else that has come out of this has been so cool. You know, we're like, I said 150, but it's right around there. We're like $150 shy of being able to do what we want to do for these people. And, you know, I'm excited to be able to do that. I really am. So I'll tell you guys what that is after we've given it, because if I say what it is and they see this, that'll spoil the whole thing and kind of defeat the purpose. So, but you'll know in a couple weeks here. As soon as we accomplish that, if that is something you guys want to contribute to, the links are still there. Go in the description of the video, Linktree, either the support me or the Cash App, either one, it goes to the same place. And yeah, we're going to help somebody out this year. So I'm really excited to do that. I've never been able to do that, but I've had a lot of help along my journey. My family has had a lot of help along their journey. And if you have too, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing feels as good as helping somebody else. And I couldn't do that without you. I couldn't even consider the option of doing that without you guys. So for those of you that have given so far, again, a genuine thank you. And for those of you that are going to, another genuine thank you. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to shut up now because this is probably a 17-hour-long video, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I mean that. Stay safe out there in this crazy world, man. This is Saucy Dad. Until next time, peace out, Saucy fam.